Hello! Happy Thursday, Naked Knowledge Night with Miss Kelly, the Garden Finds, and yours truly, Devan from the Moonstone Mamas. Hello.
Hello! It's good to be a Thursday. That means it's almost a weekend.
Yes. It's almost Friday. Yard sales. Days off.
Days off, yay. Are you hitting up any sales this weekend, yard sales or anything?
You know, I have a buttload of, I don't know if it's considered dead stock stuff, but stuff I haven't listed yet. So I know I don't need to go.
Yeah.
Your jacket doesn't go on your feet.
It doesn't go on your feet. Love that.
Yeah.
At least
He really is.
Clothes department.
Yeah, instead of being naked, but
he's just not doing it right. That's okay, bud. A for effort.
Hey, you're all right. So today we're talking about everything about Mercari. Last week we talked about Poshmark. And so how usually we start things out is we share our sales of the week. So I know you went first last time, but do you mind going first again so I can put this sweater on my kids' feet?
Yeah, you do. Put this sweater on my kids' feet? Yes. Hi, Moon Goddess. Welcome in. I'm just going to pull up a sale or two, and we can chit-chat-a-rooskies about it. Okay, so this one.
Hey, Moon Goddess.
There's a hair. Okay, this sold today, actually.
Ooh.
It sold on eBay. I do have a Mercari one, so I will bring that one up next. But if y'all tuned in to our, what do we call it? Deal or no deal, anything goes auction, a couple, was that last week or something like that? I had this guy up for grabs, but nobody wanted it. So I listed it. It is a needlepoint, kind of a vintage, just little decor wall art. And yeah, it sold on eBay for $36, which just blows my mind. I love that. And I listed it last night. So that was a less than 1 day sale Aruski. And then since we're going to be talking about Mercari, I thought, okay, let's get a Mercari sale. Mercari, we can talk about that too, is like how confuddling their app can be at times to navigate. Okay, selling in progress. Okay, I sold these. They are some men's golf shoes that I actually got from the bins. They're just, black shoes, but they're Oakley, which is why I picked them up. And they were at the bins, so they were like $1. Somebody sent me a message asking if I could do $30 on them, and I had them listed for $39. So I was like, yeah, I will do that. I do offer free shipping on Mercari for most things, including these shoes. So it was $30 free shipping, but that's fine because like I said, it was the So my Mercari sale, yay. What about you?
Oh, me. Well, I have actually had quite the sporadic and at the same time slow week for sales online. However, I am going to share a Mercari sale that I had. Just ignore the whales in the background. This one actually sold within 5 minutes of me listing it, which is crazy to me. But it's this Women's Pins by Lucinda Christmas brooch. Okay. I do have another one that I literally have not had the chance to, there it is right there. That's the back. And they're just plain enamel. It's about a 2-inch brooch. Listed it for $12. I've got a boatload of brooches, jewelry, things along those lines that I need to sell. And I have another Lucinda pin over on my Etsy. Comps are like relatively high for that brand. It is moving. So I'm excited to see if my other one, which is also a Christmas brooch, will sell.
I love that it's cold though. And it's Christmas. It's not Christmas time. Like, that's just cool.
So it just goes to show, like, you absolutely never know. Another one that sold, he wants to put his socks on so bad. And I'm like, hey, we're not going anywhere. Another one that sold full price was this guy, and no discount. This is on Poshmark. This happened to be listed relatively high because I thought it was neat. It's a nautilus shell and mother of pearl ship necklace. So it is a statement and a half. So this sold for that price.
Oh,
it is huge.
That is a chunky necklace.
50 inches long. So it is definitely a statement and a half. So I have been trying this new thing lately where I share, at least not every day, but every other day, my Poshmark. I'm not seeing a huge difference, I guess, maybe, but it's something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if you have the time to do it and you want to, you know, it can't hurt necessarily. But I know Poshmark is not always your favorite for that reason.
Because it's so, you know, you need to do so much to keep up with it, which I understand completely. I get it. I just like the whole set it and forget it method.
Me too. Now that we've gone to other platforms like Mercari and eBay that you can set and forget, it's a little burdensome sometimes to take care of.
This is my Mercari here.
Moonstonemamas.
Just real simple. You do get badges, which I find interesting and relevant. Instead of like Poshmark, where you become a Posh ambassador and then
that means nothing. Yeah.
So reliable, quick, fast responder.
Trying to see what I got. There's my profile.
So that's nice in a sense. You do get reviewed after every single sale, or if not, Mercari generates a item description,
like an automated review thing.
Right. So this one right here, transaction complete. So it does give you 5 stars immediately if, like, let's say the person doesn't respond, which is really crazy.
Rare. I mean, I've definitely had it happen where Mercari will close the transaction. I think they give you, just like Poshmark, they give you 3 days to kind of accept the goods, and then you have to rate your buyer, or they rate you, and then you rate them, and then you can get your money. I've never had an issue with a buyer where I've given them less than 5 stars, like unless you're really annoying or something. But you also don't know what they've rated you before you rate them.
Right. So yeah, like it's kind of a no-win situation in that sense.
Yeah. But yeah, they give you those 3 days to rate your buyer, and then they release your funds. And I feel like most people rate fairly quickly. Of course, there are the few people who just don't do a rating at all, but I say the majority of people rate within a couple days.
But more often than not, and that's another thing too, which is really nice, is that you get the notification from Mercari that your item was delivered. So it was scanned delivered. And of course you can adjust how many notifications you'd like to receive and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I have a few right now that are delivered, but have not been rated yet. And
like, come on, guys.
It sucks because that's the platform that you have to wait for payment. And it's like, money. I don't
me.
Like, I'm not trying to wait here, guy. Like, but I guess, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it's been pretty poppin'. I've it's another good one to put if, like, let's say, you know, right now it's coming towards the end of the month. We have 3 days until the month is over. You know, I'm out of free eBay listings for my store. So now I'm like, okay, well, I'm really going to focus a lot on my Etsy, my Poshmark, and my Mercari.
Right.
So it's nice in that sense.
Yeah, and just like eBay, you can list anything and everything on Mercari. Where Poshmark is a bit more restrictive. Same with Etsy. There's certain categories, or is it vintage? Is it handmade? Stuff like that. So you can't list everything everywhere except for pretty much eBay and Mercari. So that's kind of nice.
It is.
I was pulling up my Mercari sales because we were talking about the delivery thing, and not a fault of me or the buyer, but I am a little worried about that rating due to shipping delays. I have some pants that seem to be lost in the sauce for a while now. So let's see. They sold on February 11th. Hi, Anita. They sold on February 11th, and their latest update was February 16th in my state. So I don't know where they are, but that person's an ad.
It's not to say that right now we're not going through something and the USPS hasn't posted, you know, a notice or a statement about it.
Right.
So
it's pretty well
hopefully they'll be a little bit easier. Hi, Susan.
Yeah.
So
too, the ratings, people can see them. Like if you get a 1-star or a 5-star, all of that is public. Just like eBay.
Right.
So you can, and I think I've gotten a 3-star once for something that was not in my control at all. Like the box came banged up. And
that's too bad.
I was like, okay, well, it wasn't like that. That's the post office, you know, just punting things around. That's not my fault. I
can only explain Etsy because I've run into a few I'll give an example for my eBay. I had one negative review probably when I first started, and I had contacted the dude. He had contacted me. We tried to work it out, tried to have him send it back. He did not want to deal with sending the item back, so he gave me a negative review. So ever since then, I've had to literally climb my way back to a positive, 1 and you're done, basically.
On eBay. Ugh.
On eBay. On Etsy, however, I've had, I want to say, a couple of 1-star review back, not the item still wasn't delivered to me, and I'm like, hey, I don't work for USPS. But you can respond, but it doesn't leave a humongous star off your overall star performance.
I don't think it should.
Right. So I'm wondering if you've run into an issue where you've maybe gotten a lower score on Mercari and has it hit you pretty heavy?
I don't think so. No. In fact, anybody can go in, let me pull up my Mercari, and you can go into anybody's account and look at their reviews. And I think you can even filter, some people leave a note. You don't have to, you just have to pick a number of stars. But I have 1 4-star review and 1 3-star review. And you can click the different levels to see what the issue. Okay, so this one was weird. I sold a DVD or a Blu-ray. No, it was a DVD and Blu-ray combo of the same movie. It was like Brave, the Disney movie. I got it for free, whatever. But I had said
I love that movie.
It's a combo pack, but I'm only including the DVD, not the Blu-ray. I don't have the Blu-ray. I made that very clear. I showed the front and both sides of the disc. They left a 3-star review saying there were blemishes on the disc and my bad for not reading the description. I wanted the Blu-ray feature. I was like, you just admitted it was your fault, but still gave me 3 stars.
That's probably got to be up there in like,
Yeah.
hopefully people see when they're looking over like, hey, this wasn't anyone's fault other than maybe the buyer.
And I don't think it's really impacted my ability to sell things on there. I didn't notice like immediately afterwards it was hard to get sales because I don't make a ton of sales on Mercari anyway, like maybe a handful a month, but it is one of those things that's kind of like a nice surprise when it happens. It's not my main source of, it's not my main platform. So I don't really know how it's really impacting.
I do like the cha-ching it makes when you do make a sale. It's very old-timey not keyboard, a cash register keyboard. Good gravy.
Yes,
exactly. Hey, Carly.
Yeah. Poshmark needs to get on the game with the cha-ching sound.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you want that satisfaction. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But we've talked about in the past that Mercari's kind of app hasn't been as user-friendly as maybe Poshmark or eBay even. Let's talk about that.
And I know they've changed their app around, in the recent past a little bit. Like they created like a seller dashboard kind of thing. So it is constantly kind of upgrading itself, which is good. They seem to be testing out new things, but I do find the app a little cumbersome. Not the listing part of it. Listing is fine, but kind of navigating where are all my listed items, where are my sold items, and like there's just a lot of buttons you seem to have to click.
Right.
Cumbersome. It is cumbersome. There's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of looking at it, like if I wanted to get to my listed items, you gotta and then, or if you're on like the home page first. I don't know. I just find it is not the most intuitive at first, but I have figured it out with time and just practice. It's not a reason I would stop using it. But
let's I'll go ahead and screen share and I'll pull up my Mercari. That way you guys get like an idea of what it is. Oh man. So here it is. So of course they automatically say, hey, get the app. I do primarily most of my listings. Look at that. Cross-posting listings online, like on my actual desktop. So this is where I do a lot of that. So I go over here, my listings, and
there they are.
There it is. So the difference in Mercari and Poshmark. So like, let's just say, for example, I'm wanting to send an offer to a liker here. So if I'm sending an offer, it has to be 10% below the historical lower price. So let's say, and I know we've talked about this before, but maybe some who are tuning in don't know. Like, let's say I offer this person $40 and then somehow or another a time has gone by and I have 5 additional people who are interested in this necklace. Well, I can't offer them $40. I have to offer them $38, $35, something along those lines. So that is a bit of I don't know.
Yeah. It's not my favorite feature. I like more with Poshmark when you offer to likers, you're offering them those current likers and then any new likers. They kind of differentiate old and new likers and when the time of the offer was sent, and same with eBay. This is not that. So I actually don't use that feature very often until I've gathered, a decent amount of likes perhaps. Because I don't want to constantly keep sending lower and lower offers each time a new person likes it. Like that's not really worth it to me.
Right.
I do use the promote button, but
what do you do? The promote?
The promote, yeah. Okay. I do that instead most times, which is it automatically, like it says, reduces the price, I think 5%, and bumps it up in the search again. So I do that for stale things on occasion. Okay. But you can only do 10 items a day with the promote.
Oh.
Which is a little weird. So I kind of go to like the 10 oldest and like bump those up. I don't know if it's better to do that or to relist the item. Part of me thinks relisting, but honestly, the promote is so much easier. It's a button.
Yeah.
Not that relisting is hard, but it is more work.
Right. Another thing that I'd like to point out here when adding a new listing, for example, so it's going to take you through, this is how, your standard listing an item is. So you would upload your photos, title it, give a description, and it allows hashtags, which is interesting in itself, that it kind of allows you to have, to be as descriptive as possible, or rather think of something that someone's looking for when they're looking for your item.
Yeah. It's a unique feature they have. And I've heard, I don't know if this is, well, I mean, I think it would make sense. And so it's probably true that the hashtags are searchable just like the title would be. So try not to repeat words from your title in your tags. Try and get more descriptions in the tags if you can think of them. Sometimes I'm just like, I have nothing else to say about this.
Piece of jewelry.
Right.
So another thing too, category, obviously they have quite a bit of category, and I list pretty much everything on here. Books, I mean, you can go as crazy as, I guess, how Kelly was saying earlier, about eBay. You can list a bunch of other things, whereas if I were to go over to Poshmark to list a book, there isn't a book option, if that makes sense.
Right.
Even handmade items on here.
Handmade, vintage, like their categories probably aren't as descriptive as like eBay, who has like categories upon categories upon categories of things, but that doesn't mean you can't list certain things. It may just have to fall under other or whatever, which I've done a handful of times. And in all honesty, I don't know. I've never purchased something from Mercari, but I have searched for things when I am looking for something to see if I can find it. And I don't really use the categories to find anything. I just type what I'm looking for in the search bar at the top. So I don't know if you do end up putting other. I don't necessarily think that's going to hinder your ability to be found, because I think a lot of people type it there in the search.
Because of the hashtag, you have that additional. So when in doubt, always provide more information than need to.
Right. Like when you're shopping for something, you're just going to type what you're looking for in the search bar instead of going through and filtering all the categories and then searching. You know what I mean? So
most of the time, if you're searching, you know what you're looking for.
Yeah. That's what you're going there for a specific thing. Right.
So of course the brand, and more oftentimes than not, do I list no brand or not sure? Because even for, I want to give kudos to eBay. eBay's got a lot of the stones available for selection, and a lot of the different, at least in my category that I'm in, which is a lot of times jewelry. There's not a lot of brands, and I don't know if you've run into the same issue. There's not a lot of brand options in Mercari. Have you?
No. Yeah, I completely agree. I will say too, when you're using List Perfectly and you're creating that listing via another platform and you're cross-listing it to Mercari, it'll obviously bring over your description and stuff, and it will try and auto-populate the category and the brand for you. If it's mentioned in the title or something like that, it'll try and pull that out. But yeah, I have found that the brands are not all inclusive, right? They don't have a lot of them. And if it's not in their database, you can't put it in. You can't free type in that space. It will not let you. So even though my clothing item may have a brand, if it's not in Mercari's database, I still have to put no brand.
Right. And That's, I think, is kind of cringy, as you know, both of us can relate that we don't want to leave anything that is optional. If we can fill it in, we want to fill it in, because obviously the more information you put in, the more chances of a sale. So I think, you know, super duper important. That goes with any platform, is just to be as specific as possible. Obviously, much like anything else, it's going to talk about the condition. I don't normally. It's going to be in the top 3: new, like, new, good. I mean, I don't. Why would you put something poor unless it's like a heavily vintage item? You know, I'm not certain, or maybe there's shoes. I don't really know.
I think used, functional, like poor, I could see, you know, because it says 4 parts on there. There are some things like electronics or whatever, you could sell 4 parts. But some people are looking 4 parts, you know, like those kinds of things. But most of my items fall under good.
Yeah, just bottom line. And I mean,
even if it has a flaw, according to that definition, it can still be considered good, which I like.
Exactly. I love that.
Still functional.
Is definitely good all the way. Another thing which I tend to not nitpick about is color. Like,
you can only pick one, and they don't have
black, gray, white, beige, all like automatically. Okay.
Very primary colors. And I also, this is so weird, and I don't want to just come on here and like complain the whole night, which I feel like I'm doing, but they're in like no order that makes sense to me. Like it's like black, white, gray, and then what is it? Beige, red, pink, purple. Like they're not in alphabetical order. They're like, and so it's really hard for me to find the one I need sometimes, because I wish they were in alphabetical order. That is all. Okay, goodbye.
Right. I mean, for sure. Now, guys, I want to mention, if you guys have any questions, if you have any advice, we are no experts. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know, of course, anything to do with Mercari. However, we do, you know, have multiple platforms. So if there's anything that we can help you with, you know, or just spit some truth about, we'd love to help you in any way. But back to this whole thing. So you can kind of see how maybe it would be geared more towards clothing: black, white, gray,
color,
beige, red. I don't know. That's just my first thoughts. And of course, the shipping. So here's the big thing here. You can choose your shipping. It will auto-populate to what the site thinks how much something is going to weigh.
Yep.
So I've had some things that I know it'll auto-populate to 2 pounds. And I'm like, okay, well, this brooch isn't 2 pounds. So you can go in and you can choose to have the buyer pay. You pay, and, you know, let's go into that. But it won't even let me select shipping because, you know.
You have to fill in all the other info first. But
right. So let's.
You generally have Mercari print the label for you, correct? I
do, unless it is just an outrageous price. So like here, $349 is okay, for me personally.
Right.
Because with a malachite necklace, that's fine. But right here, so it'll give an item weight. Now I do have to mention, and I'm not trying to complain, but this is so finicky. You touch anywhere else and it clicks off. You
weird.
Tab over wrong and it clicks off. So all of that process that you just did, it's just this little thing is just so finicky.
Interesting. Since I don't do my shipping this way, I never noticed that.
It is just bananas.
Oh, no. Right.
So let's say, you know, I'm putting it 2 pounds and I can select a carrier. So that is nice in a sense where you're not restricted to USPS. You can go, you know, so that's nice.
A lot of times for me, when I do charge shipping, I end up choosing UPS because I offer free shipping on almost everything except for maybe something super heavy, maybe a heavy pair of boots or something like that. That's going to be way over a pound, but can't fit in a padded flat rate envelope. UPS usually has $9.99 shipping up to like 5 pounds or something like that. So I usually offer that one, but most of the time I just do free shipping because I kind of don't want to deal with like figuring out what the weight is, and even though I know it, but yeah.
And it will also include on your Mercari, pull up here my actual Mercari and show you that there does have a little icon section next to it that will notify whomever like, hey, this item is free shipping. I don't know how I can pull it up because I swear I found it once and now you dance around it. Okay, here it is right here. Give a better... So these little spots here, you can see this one down here is free shipping.
Yeah, it's like a little truck. Yeah.
Next to it. So that is cool. And I just want to touch on one additional thing, which is the smart pricing. I hate smart pricing. I hate smart pricing. Here I go complaining again about Mercari. So let's turn it on, for example. This item I have listed for $45. You can see how much the seller fee is, the process fee it is, and how much the total you earn. And so basically it will notify you, and yes, you can turn your notifications off, but it just bugs me to no end how they want you to sell your item so low all the time, I guess is, how do you feel about it?
I don't use it because I feel like it does... I'm all for lowering prices if that's what needs to happen to move an item, but I think they do it so quickly where like I'll list an item and then accidentally forget to turn off smart pricing, and like 2 days later it will say smart pricing has been turned off because it reached its floor price. I'm like, I just listed this, like why is it already dropping, you know? And so that kind of thing I think is, they're a little hasty with the dropping of the prices. Another thing I noticed on the desktop site when I'm cross-listing, and, you know, I go in to fill in my price, yesterday I noticed, I think it was the first day I noticed, there's a new box right next to the price that is a suggested, you feel that too? The little suggested kind of scale of this price will sell fast, this price will sell slow, and kind of the average selling price. And I'm like, I'm not going to go off of your comps right there. Like, you want me to sell this for $11 and free shipping when on eBay it's telling me to price it for $30. So,
yeah,
I'm not going to, I chose to ignore their little comp scale thing. It's interesting to see, I think, like how my pricing is going to fall into what they think, and maybe that's why I don't get as many sales over there, is because I do comp according to eBay, and it could be a different type of buyer over on Mercari. I don't know. I don't think my prices are like super outrageous either. So
I don't, but I mean, I leave room for that little extra. You saw how much for a $45 item, how much they take out immediately. So you have to pay yourself back, as resellers. This is the main thing. We're not trying to just buy it low to sell it low again. We're trying to make our money back. It's just how some people make a living, and side hustle, whatever money gets allocated to some place, no matter what. So I actually right now got a notification that someone had completed a transaction with me, so I can show how an item, see if I can pull it up.
You'll get a notification when you're ready to rate.
So here it is here. Your order has been completed. So I would go over to Mercari, order status.
Oh, okay. Is that the one where they didn't rate?
It says, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. So this would just be flat out. It's taking the time. Now it was delivered. This day. And it's been that many. Hold on. That's it. normally I would rate, but then they're just going to give me, whatever for completing the transaction. So,
right. So, yeah. So Paula has an interesting question. She says, wait,
great.
so these platforms are charging you? Yes and no.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're taking a percentage of your sale. Processing fees for the credit cards, the platform fee or commission fee, whatever some people call it, different things, is the price of doing business. So it's not like you have to pay them to list something. It's free to list on Mercari, but they will take a percentage of the sale. All platforms do that.
And I'll bring I will bring the share screen up again, because I think it is good to know the differences there. So like I was referring to earlier, how I am out of free eBay listings. So I tend to go heavy on Mercari, Poshmark, and Etsy, because however Etsy does charge, it doesn't charge you immediately. It'll just tack on, to your
right
thingy doodad, which is correct terms.
Yeah.
So share screen.
It is crazy, Paula, but it is kind of the price of doing business. There is no free selling platform unless you're going to sell direct through YouTube or Instagram or something like that.
Right.
And then you still have PayPal fees. So there's always to use these platforms
somehow or another.
Somehow, yeah.
So here it is right here. So my pricing, I've set this for $25. They take out is 10%.
10%.
Processing fee is
3%.
Even processing plus 30 cents of sold price. And then this is how much I would, excuse me, sir. This is how much I would earn.
Yep. And Mercari actually has a relatively low selling fee compared to most platforms. It's 10%. The processing fee is new. So it is closer to like 13% now total, but Poshmark is 20%. So I'll take 13 over 20.
Right. So here's Poshmark here. This is the same exact listing. It is listed for the same exact price, and they would give me $20 if sold. And they don't necessarily break it down. I mean, here it is right here. Sales under 15, there's the flat rate. Sales above 15, 20%, and you get to keep 80%. So just a general idea of that old chestnut.
And eBay falls kind of right in there as well, like the 10 to 20 range. You have it kind of varies per category too. I think some categories, the final value fee is more, and then it may depend on your store level as well. Like there's a lot of variations within eBay, but they're all relatively similar. Facebook is very low though, at 5% right now.
I was reading a thing that I think whether it was on Prime Time's Facebook or whatever, his group, and you froze up. Okay, good. So it was on his, and someone had made a comment that said, I feel like Facebook is going to do what MySpace did, and Facebook Market is going to take over eBay, that it's going to render eBay. He's like, I predict in the next 5 years that's how people are just going to siphon out of, and it's worth a thought, that kind of stuff is really interesting to me.
Yeah.
When people say that. It is easy. But I mean, we've talked about it not last week, but the week before about Facebook Market. I think us in our very infant stages of selling on Facebook, every platform has its ups and downs, I guess.
There's pros and cons to them all, and by no means are you as a reseller supposed to use them all. There are so many, probably ones that we'll never even talk about on our little show, because we just don't dabble in them to give you any sort of insight into them, because there are a lot. These are the big ones. But like, you don't have to do them all. If you don't like the way Mercari does business and you just don't vibe with it, then like, that's honestly kind of how I feel about Etsy. Like, I'm trying to get Etsy to like me, and I'm just not vibing with Etsy right now.
And if I had to say, Etsy used to be, probably before I started cross-posting everything, Etsy was my primary selling place. But now I think with most sales goes, I think it would be eBay, just for the whole point of just don't restart right now, computer.
Oh my God,
no. Horror on my face.
Love
oh my
that.
God. So yeah, I think cross posting, if you want to do that, I think it's become most beneficial for me. I can say really broadened, stuff that's just been sitting around and hanging out in my little cubby. Now is on multiple platforms to fly away to their permanent home. But it's all personal preference, like you said. So
yeah, you don't have to do them all. Some people literally don't want to cross post for. Like, you have to know how you run your own business too. Like, are you the type of person that when you get the notification that it's sold on eBay, are you going to remember to go into Poshmark and take that item down? Like, you're going to have to like remember to do those things. And there's certain things that people are just like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have to worry about that. And that's totally fine. You don't have to. Like
that. And of course, we have to talk about the thing that I can't thank Kelly enough for, which is her web application. Oh my gosh, Thrifter's Scorecard. Okay, so I can literally talk about this until the cows come home. I believe so much in what she's done, and it's helped me immensely. Here I go again. I feel like a toaster salesman. I have my little spiel. But my God, man, like my inventory scorecard. Okay, let's look here. My malachite beaded necklace that we just saw, it shows the location in which I have it stored. Okay. How many days it's been listed and what platforms I put it on. Okay. And now let's say it goes over March 1. I can put and update my platform to eBay, because best believe that's where I'm going to put it to. But right now I don't want to pay 25 cents. So such a good resource, guys. I mean, honestly, I cannot thank Kelly enough. And right now, what I find the most helpful is this is my items to be listed pile. So this is kind of what I go off of. I always kind of have my Thrifter Scorecard up, and I'm cross-posting, and I'm going in and I'm updating. Okay, there's my list date. Here's my platforms that I put it on. And then, I'll update it. And so when and if I do make a sale, I can go in and cha-ching a ring a bing bang and, put that inventory and information in there. So
yeah, get it, girl.
I cannot thank you enough for it. Seriously.
I'm glad it is helpful for you. I'm glad you like none of this is sponsored, like telling Devan to say these things. Like, she legit just loves it. And I love how much she loves it.
I talk about it to anyone who will listen. I feel like I did that when I was on Weight Watchers. I would tell everybody about Weight Watchers. But when you believe in something and it worked for you, why not, talk about it?
I mean, like, that is like the best kind of word of mouth, is when you believe in something, you want to share it, right? And so I just love that it's actually making a difference, because that's what I wanted it to do, is help people and be the thing that they need in their reselling business, the thing that they didn't even know they needed.
So. And this is my first year of actually how do I even claiming this on my taxes, claiming my Moonstone mamas on my taxes. So after that whole CPA appointment, I vowed to myself, January 1, this is my resolution, that I'm going to be actively categorizing and making sure I'm more organized. And Thrifter Scorecard came at just like a perfect time for me. I was like, listen, I want to, but I don't want to pay one more additional thing. But really, what $7.99 isn't, $7.99 is like a cheeseburger. So organization, cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Think about it.
And it's a business expense. You can take off your taxes too. So there's that benefit.
Yeah. I tried this perfectly to cross post, and it was fairly easy. Yes, it
I love
is so easy. That can be a whole segment in which we talk about because for the longest time I was on like the middle tier, which was $50 a month. But considering how much it did, thinking back at how much I spent on this, just outrageous. But the time it saved me, I mass crossed over like 10 items at a time. List, knocked it out. And just like anything else, you can go down a tier. And that's what I did.
Yeah, I'm at the lower tier. And I can't, no, you're good. I can't mass cross post, or what do they call it? Bulk cross post, where you can cross list like 10 items at a time. I just do them one at a time. But that was kind of my workflow anyway, is to just do one at a time when I list it in the first place. So to me, it didn't make sense to go up to the $50 tier, and I'm just at the 30, I think it's $29.99 a month, which is still like, that is a hefty, that's a hefty price. And I know a lot of people don't want to pay that. I'm sorry, I'm just reading. I did the lower tier, but then stopped listing, and so gave it up for a while. Yeah, it's a lot of money if you're not using it, like, and kind of going back to what Devan said, like, I didn't want Thrifter Scorecard to be something where people were, oh man, that's a lot of money. I don't know if I should invest in it. I wanted it to be something that was not as controversial maybe as some of these other services that are really expensive. I love List Perfectly, and it would be very hard for me to continue cross-listing without it now, since I've had it for so long. But it is a lot of money. $30 a month is no joke. You can take it off your taxes though, which is nice. Business expense, but still, it's a decision everybody has to make for their own business, Exactly
right. But what I have noticed, swinging back full circle, going back to Mercari, I have noticed fast sales. So like, it's an active site. I have heard many people have amazing success with Mercari. The individual things, even selling lots. Like, I know all buddies did, and that was the only time I've ever actually purchased anything from Mercari, was actually from Bolo Buddies. She had a vintage brooch, and I collect vintage flower brooches. And she's like, okay, well, I'll just put the price in and just do the transaction through Mercari. So
cool. Yeah, I have not purchased there myself. I'm not opposed to it. I don't know. I just never really have. I'm actually in the market looking for something, and I keep scouring all the reselling platforms to find it, but there's just not as many choices on Mercari at the moment.
What is it?
Oh, some Lululemon pants for my boyfriend. They're like work pants, but comfortable, so they look like real pants. Like nicer pants.
Jeggings.
Yeah, it's like the male version of like jeggings. And I was like, dude, you need these. They're going to be awesome for you. But they're like $130 at Lululemon. I mean, they're Lululemon, it makes sense. But yeah, so we've been like scouring all of the cross-listing sites or the platforms, trying to find them.
I read the small print, and List Perfectly charges you if you keep listing on their site. I'm trying to start listing again and decided to watch this instead. Well,
I think I actually got a check into that, because I did get an email a little while ago that said that their, what do they call it? Like their product catalog, when you store your items with List Perfectly, is now you can get unlimited products, or like List Perfectly listings. So I personally don't use that feature because I use Thrifter Scorecard, which I find more inclusive, more details to it than what you would get if you kept them at List Perfectly. There are other things List Perfectly does with it, but I did get an email saying that they had changed something about that. So just double check.
For sure. For sure.
But I'm
There
glad
are
you
so many
decided to go.
tools. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. There are so many tools, there are so many resources, and I think the most important thing is that you never stop learning. Don't just cut off any new tips that someone may have, because that could be the tip that changes your life as far as reselling goes. But I did want to mention, we usually wrap it up the end of Naked Knowledge Night by kind of giving ourselves a challenge through the week. Sometimes it's more challenging than others, but I think going into the new month, it'll just keep on keeping on and just continue to.
Keep on, keep on.
Helen's so glad you asked. Take it away.
Well, Thrifter Scorecard is a inventory and sales management application, program, software, service, whatever you want to call it, for resellers that I developed to, track all of your inventory, keep it organized, all in one place, and also help you keep track of all the sales when you do make those sales. So enter a few little details about shipping, click a couple buttons, and all that math is done for you, which is kind of my favorite part of it. I wanted to create something that saved people time and made it a bit more automated, so you didn't have to spend your day in a spreadsheet with a calculator, setting up formulas, trying to get a spreadsheet to be quicker for you. That's what Thrifter Scorecard does. This is what it looks like. So you have your inventory, your sales, and then some, dashboards about your best-selling brands, categories, sources. The sales scorecard is probably the coolest looking one, and you get the different graphs and your earnings.
So this is
platform
an example of what I'm meaning when I say eBay, and it goes to show too. This is it. This is the bar. Even Etsy's been so low. So, anyways, it will show where your total sourcing, inventory, how much, basically the last 7 days of sales. Literally, I cannot thank Kelly enough for this. I can literally talk about it. And the more people know, and then basically, I think the thing that a lot of people, this is the gem of it. I'm going to add a piece of inventory. Let's just say I got home and I had a piece, I had an earrings. Okay. I'm putting in my earrings and I'm looking for a place to store, because as resellers, finding places to store things, I think, is probably up there in top 5 most important.
Yeah.
Open SKUs, guys, open SKUs. So what that means basically is that, let's say you took an item out of mine and you can make custom ones. So I have duck. I named my totes because why not? Rolly Cart Black, which happens to be the color of the what's that drawer?
Rolly Cart.
Educated people here. Rolly Black Cart. So let's say I have, this section right here, A6B, I have a pair of earrings. I want to list it on Thrifter Scorecard and put it away. So it tells me where I can stuff it, instead of creating a whole new box or a new SKU rather to input. So I think that right there is a gem in itself, because as inventory comes and inventory goes, I think staying organized is the most important thing.
Yeah. I mean, it needs to go. I think I had said this in that video I did a little bit ago, but having things organized physically and then having that match your digital organization is really what makes a seamless reselling business or process, whatever, is you need to know where the item is and you need to be able to keep track of it. And it's just more efficient to do that digitally than on a piece of paper. And then especially if you can let the program do the heavy lifting for you by keeping track of all of those SKUs. So you don't have them written down. You don't have to remember. You don't have to do the math. All of that is done for you in the application, and it hopefully saves you a lot of time.
Kelly made it. Women power. Go girls. So just encourage your neighbor, encourage your friend. We can do a lot with the help of others. And if you believe in yourself, you can achieve your goals. But I just can't thank you enough for Thrifter Scorecard.
You're welcome. Thank you for loving it so much.
Thanks for being you. So with that being said, we have a few minutes left, and I want to talk about a surprise that we're doing tonight. In a wee bit, we're going to do a pop-up sale, guys. Yeah, we're going to be selling jewelry later on tonight. I know you guys are shocked. Like, what? This is a jewelry channel? You guys are selling jewelry? I can't believe it. I know. So I've got some stuff laying around on my table over there that I need to see if anyone wants it or list it. You know what I mean? So what we're doing. So in a couple of hours, 7 p.m. my time, what is it? 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Anytime in the middle. Hopefully putting the children to sleep and, get to hang out with my friend. Talk about Thrifter Scorecards more.
Woohoo!
So yeah, hopefully this will encourage you guys to maybe check out Mercari. It is free unless you would like to list something, of course, and it only charges once you sell an item. And yeah, it's a relatively easy site to list, right up there with Poshmark and the easiest places to list. But maybe this will encourage you to branch out a little bit or affirm your beliefs in sticking to just one site to sell on, which is your prerogative. But of course, we want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments down below if you like what you're hearing. We definitely want to make this a more audience-based, Q&A answer and whatnot. So if there's a particular topic you're looking to talk about and whatnot, as the chaos ensues behind me, if there's a particular topic you'd like to branch on, talk about, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We'd love to talk about the things that you guys are interested in. We're kind of making our way through the platforms. We have not decided what's going to be next week yet, but we thought of maybe doing a versus, like Posh versus Mercari a little bit deeper, but kind of making our way through the different platforms, inventory management. We could do a whole one on like how to use Pirate Ship and shipping things on your own. PayPal and like how to invoice on PayPal. There's lots of different things that we could talk about. So do let us know what you're most interested in, and we will do that sooner rather than later of hitting those topics.
100% for sure. Here. Have to give him something. Maybe a can of beans or whatever. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you just listening. No need to, of course, after all of that talk, no need to chime in or talk. Listening just works just the same. But thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, we will see you next Thursday. And I believe, like you had mentioned, and I think it'll be a really fun topic to discuss, is Poshmark versus Mercari.
Right. Head-to-head battle.
So
and we'll see you in a couple hours too if you guys want to come back for some auction fun. Yeah.
We'll catch you on the next one, guys.
Bye.